So one of the Democratic candidates who has seen his polling numbers on the rise since joining the field is Pete Buttigieg. The mayor of South Bend, Indiana, found himself gracing this week's cover of Time magazine with his husband. But as the only gay candidate in the race, he's also running into some opposition. At a speech in Texas on Friday, Buttigieg got heckled by anti-gay protesters. Someone started shouting things like marriage is between a man and a woman and repent. Despite the harassment, Buttigieg took the high road.
See, that moment when I was packing my bags for Afghanistan, for the purpose of defending that gentleman's freedom of speech. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I believe at the time our president was focused on season 7 of the Celebrity Apprentice.
So Buttigieg came out 4 years ago during his re-election. He married Chasten, his husband, in 2018. And with me now is former Representative Jim Colby, a Republican from Arizona. Congressman, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you, Fred. Nice to be with you.
Great. So you served 22 years in the House of Representatives, and you came out as gay in 1996 when you voted for the Defense of Marriage Act, and then you married your male partner in 2013. So,
that's correct.
You know, I want to start by getting your reaction to how Buttigieg responded to those protesters, and, you know, let's begin with the fact that he is being met by sentiments like what we just saw exemplified.
Well, I think he's handling it exactly as he should, just going on and talking about the issues that he thinks are important, that are important for this country. I really don't think the gay issue is going to be a major factor. I mean, it'll certainly be a factor. There's 21 candidates in this race. Every one of them has something they've got to deal with there. And certainly that's one that he has to. But the people that are going to oppose him on that, we're probably going to oppose him anyhow. So I think he's well positioned. I know when I came out, I mean, that's more than 20 years ago that I came out, and I was reelected by the same margin that I had been elected before I came out. And I served 5 more terms after that. So, and that was Arizona. I don't think it's as big a problem. I think there's going to be other issues: his age, where he's from, the not having been mayor of a large city. There's other things that I think are going to be bigger factors.
And Buttigieg, you know, he's not avoided discussions about, you know, his sexual orientation. No. Here he was, in fact, discussing the topic in Dallas just yesterday.
We each come into this race as who we are, and you know, the fact that I'm a Midwesterner, the fact that I'm a veteran, the fact that I'm happily married to my husband are all part of who I am. Everybody in some way has found their lives shaped by policy and shaped by the decisions made in Washington. As somebody whose marriage depends on the grace of a single vote in the Supreme Court, I feel that very acutely.
So you've already said you do believe he's handling this well, and is it your feeling that it is something he is going to continue to have to address or be put in a position of addressing?
Well, it's clearly going to be a big part of the campaign, simply because he is the first openly gay person to be running for president, and the first one certainly go from where he was at the very bottom to now at least in the upper second tier or the first tier of candidates. And I think though it's going to be an issue that he's going to have to be dealing with. But as I say, those I think that would just oppose him on that issue alone are probably going to be opposed to him anyhow. They're just not going to be with him. If you're talking about a very conservative evangelical person from a state like Mississippi or Alabama, they're not going to be with him anyhow. So I think he has a real chance, because I think the country's looking for fresh leadership, and I think it's looking for somebody that's young that we can bring new to the scene with new ideas. He's smart. I know him. He's very smart, speaks 7 languages. He has experience in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
The guy's good.
I think it's 8 languages, not to,
8.
you know, take away.
Okay. Well,
an
English plus 7.
Knowledge of lots of languages. So, you know, this also comes, you know, at a time when we're seeing, you know, new polling with mixed results on how Americans feel about having a gay president. A Quinnipiac poll says that 70% of Americans are open to voting for a gay man for president, but that same poll says most voters don't believe that America is ready for a gay president. I remember he was asked, do you think America is ready for a gay president? He said, hey, let's just find out. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think they are, and that number I think is significant. It was only less than 15 years ago that number was under 50% that said they could be happy or they would be satisfied with somebody who was gay running for president. It's now 70%, and it's going up with every single poll, with every single election, every single year. So I think it's now much more accepted than it was. You can hardly find anybody in society today, in your circle or my circle, that doesn't know somebody who is gay. And so when you know somebody who is, it's much easier to be accepting of that.
All right, former representative from Arizona, Jim Colby, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.